This unit 5 radiography. Now we are going to talk about different topics. The first one is the types of filters and screens. What are the screen resolution can be followed in the imaging, and then inverse square, and then law of imaging, and then contrast, and then density, speed. We are talk about these different topics. Let's go to the video. Now see about the X-ray filtration. Before going to see about types of filtration, just to see about the X-ray filtration. What is meant by X-ray filtration? The X-ray machine have metal filters inserted into the useful beam. Okay. The primary purpose is remove the low energy beam that reaches the patient and are absorbed superphysically. Okay, and then the metals such as aluminum will absorb the soft low energy rays. The metal which such as the aluminum will absorb the soft low energy rays. Okay, and then this reduce the patient exposure. Okay, it will be reduce the patient exposure. Now going to see about the types of filtration. First one, there are two types of filtration. The first thing is the inherent filtration. Second is the added filtration. Another thing is the added filtration. Now going to see about inherent. What is meant by inherent filtration? This is the diagram of the inherent filtration. Okay, the absorption of X-ray by X-ray tube and its housing is called inherent filtration. Okay, in diagnostic X-ray tubes, the glass is equal to about 0.5 mm of aluminum. Okay, here 0.5 to 1 mm aluminum is equivalent, mostly due to the glass inserted the envelope. This is the inserted glass. Okay, this is window, this is insulation oil, the glass inserted envelope. Here this is the glass inserted envelope. Okay, this is aluminum of 0.5 to 1 mm. Okay, the added filtration means 1 or 2 mm of aluminum is added. Filtration placed in the collimator. 1 or 2 mm of aluminum is added. Okay, filtration placed in the collimator. This is added filtered in collimator. Okay, the filtration is generally placed on the mirror of the collimator. The filtration is placed on the mirror of the collimator. Okay, the minimum filtration for the tube operated above 70 kVp is 2.5 mm aluminum equivalents. Okay, it will be 2.5 mm aluminum equivalents. Now intensifying screens. See about intensifying screens. The intensifying screens change the X-rays into the visible light, which is used for change the X-rays into the visible light. Okay, this is intensifying screens. The visible light expose the radiographic film. Okay, the standard screen film size. This is some standard size can be followed by size screen size. This is the English units, this is the SI units. Okay, this is some standards to be followed on the screening. Okay, now going to see about screen film factors. What are the factors to be considered in film? Okay, the main factors to be considered while selecting the film. While selecting the film, these are the factors to be considered. First thing is the contrast and speed, and then crossover, and then spectral matching, and then reciprocity law, and then Safelights, and then this is the some factors to be considered while selecting the films. Okay, screen films. Okay, now see about contrast. What is meant by contrast? High contrast film as low latitude, the medium contrast as medium latitude, the low contrast as high latitude. High contrast uh, film as low latitude, low contrast as high latitude. Okay, the high contrast as small uniform grains, low contrast as large grains and wide range in size. Now going to see speed. The silver halide crystals are the main factors that determine the speed. The silver halide crystals is the main factor to determine the speed. Okay. The faster speed films are most always uh, double emulsion. The light spectrum from screens must match to achieve the optimum speed. Crossover. Now see about the crossover. This is the diagram of the crossover. The crossover is the exposure of an emulsion by light from the opposite side radiographic intensifying screen. And then the modern tabular grain film with a dye or crossover control layer has reduced the crossover. Now going to see of the about spectral matching. Most important consideration in selecting the screen is spectral matching. Okay, in selecting the screen, the spectral matching is most important. Okay, the material in the screen will determine the color of light emitted by the screen. The material in the screen will determine the color of light emitted by the screen. Okay. The special dye in the films are used to match the screens to film. Some special dyes can be used to match the screen film. The the calcium tungstate screen emit the blue and blue violet light. Okay, the calcium tungstate screen emit blue and blue violet light. All film will respond to blue and blue violet light. Rare earth screen emit the blue green light. It's referred to orthochromatic film. It will respond to blue and green light spectrums. In Kodak Lanax regular screen are rated at 400 speed with orthochromatic film and 200 speed with blue sensitive film. 400 in Kodak Lanax regular, 400 speed with orthochromatic film, and then 200 speed with blue sensitive film. Now going to see about the reciprocity of law. The reciprocity law constitutes one of the fundamental rules of the photography. One of the fundamental rules of the photography is reciprocity law. It states that quality of series of photography, which is state of about quality of series of photography. The radiographic film will be uniformly constant if the exposure time with which the film are made vary reciprocally with intensities of the exposing radiation. Okay. Now exposure will be equal to intensity in multiplied with time, okay, which is equal to constant optical density. Now going to see about safe light. A red filter is used for blue green sensitive film. Here red filter is used for blue green sensitive film. The color is not only concern. Here color is not only concern. The wattage of the bulb and distance from the countertop is also very important. Here not only color, also consider the wattage of bulb, also distance from the countertop. It will be also consider. The maximum wattage is 15 watt. The distance is 60 inch from the countertop. This is the diagram. The working with the film in the dark room requires special light to avoid the exposure. Here in dark room need some special light to avoid the exposure of the film. The filters are used to avoid the exposure of the film. Okay, here some filters can be used to avoid the exposure of the film. Okay, thank you.